Someone has to pay for this. Today on Readus Reviews, I review Hellboy. Now, just to let you know, readers, in order for me to be as fair as possible, I will not be comparing this to any of the Del Toro Hellboy films that came before it. This is, in fact, a reboot in every meaning of the word. And in this reboot, Hellboy is off against Nimue, the Blood Queen, who, after being revitalized, is on a warpath with humanity and is in the process of trying to destroy it. And it's up to Hellboy and his team of paranormal investigators in order to stop her. And readers, if I can summarize my feelings in one word about this movie, it would have to be upset. I'm upset because this movie had a lot of potential. It had themes it wanted to explore, and I could tell that some effort was made in order to explore them, considering how they use Hellboy in this movie. But it's only done at a surface level because it put too much focus on the spectacle. Like, one of the comic arcs that was used for inspiration for the story in this movie was The Wild Hunt. I've read The Wild Hunt. Fuck, I own The Wild Hunt. This story is awesome. It did such a great job at exploring Hellboy's struggle between his two natures. King Arthur shit aside, even though that shit was cool in its own right. This story was such a great blueprint for this movie, and I'm so upset that it didn't take full advantage of it. Anyway, let's talk about the characters that stood out to me the most. David Harbour made a very convincing Hellboy, even though there wasn't really that much doubt in my mind that he wouldn't. He got the look down, he got the attitude down, and he was fun to watch on camera, pretty much 95% of the time. Alice was my favorite character, and I wish that there was more of her in this movie. Her portrayal was done in a way that kind of reminded me of The Rock in the WWE. Her presence often caused more interest in other characters that interacted with her. Ben was one of those characters. I didn't necessarily start to care about him until Alice forced me to care about him. They also had some pretty good chemistry in a scene where it was just the two of them. It didn't feel forced at all. Other things I liked about this movie was the creature design. I thought it was very impressive, specifically the makeup and the prosthetics department. Hellboy looked good, the giants looked good, Baba Yaga, Jesus Christ, Baba Yaga. And believe it or not, despite my little tirade at the beginning of this review, I had more problems with this movie than just the story. One consistent was the editing. Jesus Christ, I fucking hated the editing in this movie. It was so choppy 80% of the time, and it never gave me a chance to calm down. The only time the editing was something consistent and the style was warranted was in action scenes. And considering the fact that Neil Marshall is more known for the more battle-centric episodes of Game of Thrones he directed, that tells me a lot. Like a whole lot. And the spectacle I was referring to earlier on in this review was the movie's use of its R rating. Any chance the movie had to show us unnecessary gore, it took advantage of. Nothing was left to the imagination, and its overall use of it was a hindrance to the story as opposed to actually helping it. The same could be said for the swearing, but not as much as the gore. Honestly, the swearing between characters felt more organic because depending on who spoke, it happened naturally. In my opinion, I would have preferred a ratio closer to 70-30 for swearing and gore respectively, personally. Readers, Hellboy had the potential to be a very good movie considering the arcs that it used for its inspiration. Even the actors and the characters they portrayed factored into there being a decent amount of enjoyment. But at the end of the day, despite what the cast brought to the table, the story's potential suffered from putting too much focus on violence and gore instead of trying to find a balance between savagery and substance. If you're a fan of the violence and gore that this reboot is offering, then you'll probably enjoy this a lot more than I did. And for everyone else, shit, I don't know, go catch a matinee if you just need to go to the movies and there's nothing else to watch, especially if you have the ability to turn off your brain. I am slowly yet surely accepting the fact that I am not one of those people with said ability, and I officially hate everyone who can. But I digress, readers. Your homework assignment for the day. Write in the comment section below what you thought of the 2019 reboot of Hellboy if you've seen it. Patreon-a-thon is going on all April long here on Readus 101, so if you want to qualify yourself for giveaways and help financially support the channel, you can join my Patreon by clicking the card at the end of the video or in the link in the description down below, where you can also find a link to my merchandise store. Or if you prefer to give one-time donations, you can find links to my PayPal and my Ko-fi account in the description box as well. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because I post new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and every other Friday. But until then, this is Readus 101. Class dismissed.